welcome back. Happy Friday. I hope everyone had a great week so far. For today's project, we're going to be creating this very sweet folio, and I am utilizing some Dollar Tree stickers. Now, the folio itself has a bit of a backstory, and that is that I am having a very major purge in my shop. I need to be ruthless and make decisions about keeping only the things that I'm really going to use, because we're downsizing and my new space is significantly smaller. So I really need to focus on what I am using. So in the process of going through all the things, I have found that I have a bit of an addiction to Dollar Tree stickers. This is just a portion of the drawer that I have full of them. I consider these to be the gotcha item. When I go to the Dollar Tree, I did not intend to buy baking stickers, but they got me. And here they are, along with space and some woodland critters. And so this is one of those things that accumulated with intention to be used. And so I'm going to get into them today. Let me know in the comments, what is your gotcha item at the Dollar Tree? I'm interested to hear all the things that find their way into your carts without intention. And so if you go to the Dollar General, the gotcha item there is the orange cream-filled Twizzlers, and that is a different topic for another day, but let me know what your gotcha item is. So this is a really cute folio. I've gotten into my stash. I've used up quite a lot of pattern paper, and this folio is very versatile. It can work for just about any collection, 12-inch or 6-inch papers. So I'm going to be able to utilize this base for a lot of different projects. So stick with me and we'll make it together. So for the base of our folio, we have 6 pieces of 110-pound cardstock. I wanted the base portion to be cut from just one width. So it is 6 inches tall by 12 inches wide. My first score is 3.5. Then 4.5, then 8.5, and 9. So I'm going to get a 1-inch spine, a 1/2-inch spine, and then enough overlap on the pages so that we can add a nice tie closure. So this is going to be the base. I'm going to add a couple of additions to increase the square footage of this folio. And remember, we're still going to be using 110-pound cardstock. I have a piece for the left-hand side, and this is going to be 6 inches by 7.25. I scored it at 3.5 and 3 3/4. So this is going to give me a 3.5-inch page and a 1/4 inch spine. I'm going to add these pieces together with a layer of my double-sided adhesive tape and an additional layer of my Tombow. This is going to be very nice and secure, and the tape will hold it in place while the glue sets up so we can continue to work along. So I want to just line this up where my score is, just on the left-hand side of that score line, so that will move properly. And then I will go ahead and add pressure to adhere it. For the right-hand side, my page is 6 by 6.25. I'm going to score it at 3 and 3.25. I've added my tape to this side as well. Another layer of Tombow, and just like for the left-hand side, I'm going to line it up with the outside score line. And now we have 2 folds that open outward. I have 3 additional pieces, and these are going to be top folding. So this piece is 4 by 12, scored at 6. So I'm basically creating a 4-inch wide, 6-inch tall top folding card. And I'll add that same as the other portions. This time I'm going to secure it between those score lines and make sure that I have it lined up straight across the bottom. That one went in the middle. This next portion will go on the left, and it is 3.5 by 12 and folded. We're going to adhere it the same as the center portion. This time it's going to go all the way over to the left, and our final top folding flap is going to be 3 inches, 12 inches, and scored at 6, and adhered just the same as the previous two. And then, of course, this is going on the right-hand side. And now we have a trifold that has a 1-inch spine. It opens once, twice, 3 times, and then it has 3 top folding sections as well. So there is quite a lot of real estate in this trifold, and it will be very sturdy because we're using the 110-pound paper, and then all the additional paper layers will really bulk it up and make it nice and sturdy. So for my stash paper, I'm gonna pull this Make a Splash collection from Bo Bunny, and I've had this for quite a while. When I designed for Bo Bunny for a few years, they were very generous and sent quite a lot of products, so I've just had this tucked away, and I really am not interested at all in the penguins, but the pattern papers that do not have the graphics on them all are very bright and cheerful. They're nice primary colors, so I know they're going to coordinate with my stickers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the measurements up on the screen now. The best thing about this folio is that there are 3 sets of measurements, and they work throughout the folio. So everything on the left is going to be the same set of measurements. Everything in the middle, including the back, is a set of measurements, and everything on the right. So I am going to pop those measurements up on the screen. You can write them down or screenshot them. And then I'm just going to work along because this is basic assembly at this point. Now I will mention 2 things. If you like a layering pattern, you only have to decide how tall you want it, but you do need to cut it the same as the pattern paper for that section. So for instance, this one, if I wanted a layering pattern, I would cut it to the pattern paper layer measurement, and that way you can utilize your border that already exists, because we're going to use a beautiful navy cardstock, and that will kind of anchor those brighter colors. And secondly, I am using the stickers from the Dollar Tree, but I peeled the layers apart because I wanted to remove some of that bulk. I know that's hard to do when you buy a fun dimensional item, but once I started laying all my pieces out, I gave it a test fold, and I found that it was a little too bulky. So those Dollar Tree stickers have a foam tab in the back, and then they also have a foam tab that separates the layers. I removed both, and then I re-adhered the top of the sticker to the bottom, so it's still just a little bit dimensional, but we did remove quite a lot of the volume from that, and did that only on the ones that are on the inside. The one on the outside is fine because it can be very bulky and it won't interfere with the folio closing properly. And then I should also mention that I used my Tombow to attach these 2 layers together because it's a little shiny. So I wanted that to be very secure. So let's cut to the measurements, and then I will start on the assembly. I'm just going to speed that up for you guys so we can get through it quickly, and I'll put a little music on, and then I will come back to you at the end when we work on the cover. Okay, so before we go ahead and finish the front of the cover, we do need to secure the trim, and I'm going to use a beautiful topaz diamond pattern satin. This is from Really Reasonable Ribbon. I've just measured out a generous length of that so I know I can get a nice bow, and then I'm just going to secure this temporarily with a little hot glue so it will stay in place. And then I'll just go ahead and open this book to make it a little easier to work on the cover. So I've got my beautiful ombre pattern with the navy border that I've used throughout. I decided to neutralize that pink for the cover because the stickers didn't have that kind of colorway in it. So I'm just going to cover that with a little blue and then finish the center with a lot of detail. This is that diagonal stripe with all those beautiful primary colors. I've put a border of the cardstock between those patterns, and now I'm going to bring in my stickers. There wasn't really a lot of room on this folio for a doily, but there is plenty of room to stack up some of these very sweet stickers. So the main focal point is the elephant, and I want to offset him because I need to leave room for the balloons. So I'm just gonna position those strings kind of like he would be holding it with his trunk. And then I'm gonna give him a little hat just to be extra festive. And I'll just kind of position that so that it looks like he's wearing it on his head. So that's the focal image, and I really did consider not adding flowers, but I know you guys would come at me in the comments. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some here. I didn't want the dark navy and I didn't want the blue to match perfectly, so I kind of went for a mid-tone on that blue. I paired it with a couple of some white filler flowers, die-cut foliage, and string. This flower has a little bit of a dimensional center along with the stamens just to be a little bit extra detail. Going to add the beautiful flowers here to the bottom. Then I'm going to come back in and put a couple sequins on. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, let me know in the comments what collection you think you would use for this base. I think this would work great for any collection, even if you have a 6x6 paper pad. Now, if you do use that, you're gonna wind up with some offcut, but you could consider that as a layering pattern as you go throughout. So definitely can get through some of your 6x6 paper for this folio. Okay, so that's all for our project today. I'm just gonna flip through it here real quick and carefully so that we don't disturb the sequins on top. So you can see that I've also staggered my stickers so none of the layers will get caught on each other as we open the book. And this middle portion has one nice long strip of that diagonal stripe. I like all the layers that show together to match. And then I've alternated my stickers again. And then one last flip here. I'll mention that I did run out of bigger stickers, so I just combined the two smaller ones, and that gave me just a perfect amount to finish this folio. And then of course we've got all of that extra real estate on the inside to finish. The patterns that I picked for this will work perfectly if you like to add the journaling right onto the pattern paper. You can read it very well for the yellow as well as the blue, so that will work out well if you want to add your pictures in journaling right on to that pattern paper. So you'll notice that I also moved over the guy, I don't know what you call that guy, circus guy? Anyway, I had to move it over a little bit because part of it was showing when the book was closed. So that is all. Now, if you enjoyed this project, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. There are links in the description for all of our social media sites. And if you're not already, I would love for you to subscribe. As always, I'm wishing you a happy and productive day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.